Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
That's right. Breeze Nation, what is good? Another good morning to you from the Morning Breeze. A lot to get into on today's episode. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. I had to play that song again. That was a banger. On today's episode, we got to talk about Mel Kiper's mock draft. He has Zion Young to the Chicago Bears. Is that a little bit early? And do we want to take a chance on a guy named Zion? We'll have that conversation. Is that best player available? And then the Chicago Bears are interested in a center. I like what I'm hearing. They have had conversations with one young Sam Hecht. And we got to talk about, is that the kind of project that the Bears should be taking on when there's pretty obvious answer right there at the center position, but a difference in age? All that and more in today's episode of The Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Big shout out to you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, in the AM, Jordan JC, Mr. Media himself, in the building. JC, how you feeling this morning, my boy?
Good, man. Good. Just trying to see whether this weather is going to remain consistent. You got 70 one day, you got 30 the other day. I didn't realize that it was almost 12 degrees outside, or it felt like it the other day. Like, what the heck are we doing? Can we get to summer already?
This weather is everywhere. It hasn't been like this in a while. Like we've been through weather like this, right? I worked construction, so I worked out in it. You work for the gas company, so you worked out in it. Like we've been through weather where it's like it's up and down and kind of changes week to week. This has literally been hour to hour,
bro.
This has legitimately been hour to hour. I haven't experienced something like this since I was a shorty, honestly. Like where it was just
I don't know when the last time I experienced it.
We outside playing. Wait a minute. That's a giant rain cloud. I guess we should go in real quick. Up, it's 65 degrees again. We back outside playing. Why is it snowing?
By the way, did you see Spice Adams?
I didn't see it. What did he do?
Where he had like one sweatpants pulled up on one side to expose his leg, the other was down. He had like a beanie on, a jacket on one half of his body, a short sleeve shirt on the other half.
Yeah,
like this is how we have to dress outside. It's like semi-cold, semi-hot.
Legitimately, I have a heavy Bears jacket in my back seat. I have a light Bears jacket in my back seat. And I have a Breeze hoodie.
You got a Bears t-shirt?
I just got a Breeze hoodie, just in case. You never know.
Oh, God, whatever. Chicago, baby. You gotta
man, the weather's all over the place, and the politicians got their hands in our pocket. We're off to a great start for 1980s. Chicago radio. Welcome in. I'm Pat the Designer. Let's talk a little bit of Bears football here. So we take a look at one of the first few mock drafts from Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper, of course, the resident. I'm gonna say something very bold and outlandish, and make sure that I put myself out there. I'll quit my job if this guy's not the best quarterback in this draft. Whoa. He's still working, but we do respect Mel Kiper and the work that he does here at the Windy City Breezers. So when I see that Mel Kiper has mocked Zion Young and porn stars to the Chicago Bears. Well, maybe not. Not every Zion's built the same, although most of them. Actually, he is kind of built like Zion Williamson, if we're being honest.
He's almost there. He's almost.
Zion actually are the same weight and height, if we're being honest here.
That is concerning now.
It makes me scared. Keep Mariah Mills away from him. But no, like I see this situation in this scenario for the Chicago Bears, and I see Zion Young mocked to them by Mel Kiper here. And, you know, kind of how he breaks this down is that the Chicago Bears have needed pass rush help for a while. Zion Young provides that at 25, especially if he is available. When you look at his PFF numbers, he does grade out as one of those players that should be able to create consistent pressure. But this is one of the guys for me, JC, that when you turn the tape on, yes, he does have a solid pass rush grade. Yes, he does have a solid run defense grade. But I don't feel like I see that all the time on tape. And I'm not just talking about the highlight plays here. I'm talking about when you actually sit there and watch through some of his games. The games where you see him truly stand out are versus the teams that you would expect him to stand out against, right? I mean, you got what's the freaking, I don't even know what team, LAWS I think was the abbreviation on there. It's like, okay,
law school.
You should go out there and beat them, right? When you look at, you know, his game versus teams like Texas A&M, you see a very different quarterback. But versus Auburn, he stepped up. Versus Oklahoma, he stepped up. So it's just, to me, I see a player, and again, this is college. There's development that can take place. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. But I see a player who's a little bit inconsistent with his dominance. And I kind of feel like the Bears have that in the building already. Not to say he's not nice. I think that there's a player that can be developed there. But when you're having a conversation on, you know, who you can take at 25, I think, and this is probably the wrong way to look at the first round, but I think it's at 25, I'm looking at it as how high is someone's floor. To me, with Zion Young, I see a lower floor, maybe a higher ceiling. I think that he can be the kind of player that can reach the heights that a Peter Woods, who I think is going to be phenomenal, can reach. That I think even when you watch a Malachi Lawrence, by the way, we're doing all of the reaction videos over on the Patreon side to avoid the copyright issues that we have here on YouTube. If you guys want to support that, it is behind the paywall because that's how we avoid all the copyright issues on Patreon. So if you guys want to support that, go over to the Patreon. We've been dropping those in the community tab as well, and support in that way. But no, I see a player who I think has all the talent in the world, but I think that floor is a little bit too low to say he's BPA at that spot. If you're telling me in the second round we're getting Zion Young, I'm dancing for joy. If you're telling me at 25 I'm getting Zion Young, I feel like there's more players with higher floors that still do have high ceiling.
No, I agree with you. Like you said, if you're telling me at 57 or 60 that he's still there, which would be surprising, then you jump to the podium and you grab him. But I think this is a player, as you said, who he has one of those builds of that potential where it skyrockets, and he could be somebody that could be a double-digit sack guy in the league. Like that's his ceiling. But he's also someone, as you mentioned, that can be very inconsistent, and we've seen that already with the likes of, you know, the Dio Adengbos and the Javon Dexters that are on our line.
Whoa, you calm down, buddy. He's motivated.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm motivated. You know what? If we put motivated behind Zion Young, maybe his floor will get up a little bit more. Motivated. You get out.
By the way, one of the games I watched, the one that was LASW, I said LAWS. Los Angeles Southwest College. He had a phenomenal game versus them. I expect that.
They got to work on that abbreviation. All right. Anyway, that's my thing. Is I don't mind taking chances on players who have those traits where it's like, oh my goodness, this stands out, and the speed and the bend and the athletic ability and the motor sometimes runs hot. Like those are things you see with Zion. You love his size too. At 6'5", 262 pounds.
Yeah,
that's a Dennis Allen type guy.
Yeah,
but do we have that in the building? I think I read too that the last time we drafted someone this high in the top 50 as an edge rusher, it was Leonard Floyd. Remember the project that he was? And he was very inconsistent with us. You saw flashes. He had a decent season, I believe, the year before he left. Then when he went on to other teams, then that's when he started kind of acclimating himself. Are we willing to be patient with the Zion Young, where 4 to 5 to 6 years down the line, maybe he becomes the best version of himself. That's not the window we're in. We're in a window where we want the talent that's coming out of college, the prospects that we pick, to hit right away. And like you said, there are still names on that board that Mel Kiper didn't mention before 25 that we could talk about.
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. Listen, I think that Zion Young as a second round talent is great. If we are, and maybe, I mean, honestly, I think that there's an argument to say, you're splitting hairs when you talk about picking 25 versus, a second round talent versus a first round talent. But it does depend. I don't think you're splitting hairs when you're talking about the future and the contract that comes with that player. You're giving somebody here a 5-year deal. That's somebody that you want in the building for a long time. 4-year deal, not to say it's not. I mean, Luther Burden's on a 4-year deal. We want Luther Burden here for a long time, but you do look at Luther Burden a little bit differently than you look at Rome Odunze, because one of these guys, now granted one was taken top 10, but one of these guys, you say, hey, like, there's a 5th-year option here that's worth a heck of a lot of money, and if you're not picking that up, that's a big miss as far as a pick. If you miss on Luther Burden, which I don't think that you did, you kind of just go, you took a shot at a wide receiver there. Maybe you could have got something better there, but you still got good talent on the field. So, like, I look at Zion Young and I say, is he somebody who's worth committing 5 years to and not 4? And that's kind of, to me, I think he's talented as all get out. I trust Dennis Allen. If they were to pick Zion Young, I wouldn't go, oh my God, who the heck did you just go get? I would go, all right, well, that means that you're planning on developing this young man into the tops of the tops here. And you think that you can get that floor potential higher and more consistent. I'm not going to sit here and rage against it. Again, I think he's a fine player. But I do look at guys. I mean, I did the reaction video. You did the draft breakdown over here on Peter Woods. I think that's an inside out type of guy. I think that's a guy that answers, who's your next, for lack of a better term, only because he does this. Dayo Adangbo. Hopefully a much better version of Dayo Adangbo, a motivated Dayo Adangbo.
Absolutely.
And dangerous player. And you're getting somebody who also showed you the sack production as well. And my thing, showed you pressure on a consistent basis. I got 10.5 sacks from Montez Sweat with no pressure. It doesn't look great. It's funny that, Yurko said this on the Chicago Bears podcast one day when I was doing it with him, and I think it holds so incredibly true to kind of what the Bears have had on the defensive line. I like Montez, but he is the worst double-digit sack guy in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did get 10.5 sacks.
You did.
But they are probably, I would say, 8.5 of those sacks are the least impactful sacks that you might have had that season. It's just, I would rather have a guy that provides consistent pressure and constantly has the quarterback moving off of his spot than a guy that goes out and gets 10.5 sacks. But it's like, but like you were never around the quarterback. You were never causing guys concern. You were never to the point where teams were going, he's going to single-handedly wreck our game plan. That's not the player that you were. I don't want to go out and get that again.
Yeah, I don't either. And again, when I'm looking at it as a senior, and the age is not an issue. As a senior, he's only 22 years old. Coming into the NFL.
And that plays a part in it too.
It does. But I mean, if you're talking about the floor, like you mentioned, there's another prospect. And when you look at the mock draft that Mel Kiper put out, you still have Caden McDonald on the board. You still got Malachi Lawrence. You still have Akeem Messidor, who we talked about in totality the other night, where he's 25 years old. So on his rookie contract, at the end of it, he might be 30. At the end of
his rookie contract, he'll be 30.
But you're talking about a player who his floor is pretty high.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to come in and make some noise from day one. His experience, his ability, his motor, his skill set, his bags, or rather the skill, the amount of technique and moves that he has in his bag. Like, those are the things that I would depend on a little bit more. So if you're talking about trying to trade off, like, from a Zion who's a younger prospect who may have a little bit more of a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Versus an Akeem Messidor, who's an older prospect, but I believe he gave you 12.5 sacks this past season.
Did give you 12.5 sacks.
Like the numbers are off the charts, and so you know what you're getting already. It's almost like you're getting another technically NFL player. Like you're getting an experienced player who you can just plug in and say, okay, we need some consistency here. We know we can rely on you to do that, just that. And that's the question.
And that is why I was so, kind of adamant about I would still take a chance on a guy like Akeem Messidor. I get it, right? Like he is older. 25 might not be the spot for him, and I think he ended up falling to 33 or 34, whatever it was when we did our mock draft. By the way, if you haven't checked out our mock, we've got a nice mock up on
nice
mock, nice mock draft up on the
Ringo almost died.
bro, I don't know if you saw it. Like I clipped it up so it's shorter. It's like 35 minutes if you want to watch the condensed version, or if you want to watch the full version. They are both on the channel. But as Ringo fell down,
black and white, that was epic.
Bro, it's just I was crying. Like it's you just going, oh God.
I didn't see him on the ground. All that time I was complaining about the needs of the Chargers, and this man's playing flat on the ground.
Oh God. Now the one thing I would say, is there a little bit of concern? It has been a couple of years, but on Akeem Messidor and dealing with some of the injury issues that he has dealt with at 25 years old. But bottom line for me, the reason I was arguing for going out and possibly getting an Akeem Messidor, I don't care how old you are, because football is short realistically. I would love to have a guy for 10 years, but most guys in the NFL don't play 10 years. I think the average career is 4.5 years, 3.5 years, 3.5 years.
Damn. One contract.
If you can give me 5 years of dominant play, solid and maybe we get into post 30 for a second contract, and you give me 4 more years, that's a 9-year career. Like that's more than most players play. And so I look at that and say the talent is more important than anything. Bring him here. The talent is more important than anything.
I already know what that means.
Why does he have a pretzel?
We got baby Pat.
It's so early for a pretzel.
Hi, Maya. We got baby Pat back in the building, baby.
The boy is here.
Skyrocket.
Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
But no, like the talent means more to me than anything. And so like if I'm looking at an Akeem Messidor, and yes, he is older. Yes, he does have more mileage on him because of playing more in college. I mean, he played at West Virginia for 2 years, and then he played at Florida for 4 years. And it does raise the question, hey, is this guy just a college player or is he an actual NFL player? But I feel like that floor is higher, and I would be okay taking a shot on that over a Zion Young who, listen, the highs are going to be high, but those lows are going to be real low.
Now, here's my question, too, with this whole conversation is, when you take a chance on Zion versus, let's say, an Akeem Messidor, do you look at the team that Chicago has now and say, it's more important for us to get a more solidified player, more higher floor player because of where our window is? We're not a team that's technically in the start of a rebuilding phase. We're retooling. We're trying to replace a couple of players that we let go because we know that the defense outside of takeaways was very putrid in a lot of areas. And so do you say, okay, well, since our window is the next 4 to 5 years before we have to pay Caleb and the likes of other players, do we go with the prospect that can give us the sure production versus a talent like Zion Young and say, we're moving forward with this because our championship window is just opening up?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with you in that conversation. I think that, if you're viewing this as a piece that's going to be a part of your championship window, if you're viewing this as a piece that is going to push you to that championship window, I guess is the right way to say it, right? Because that's what you're looking for here. You're not looking for a guy. You're looking for a piece that can push you to that next level as far as a defensive line. You're looking for a piece that can be, a consistent. Yeah,
that's right, Akeem Messador.
You're looking for a piece that that can come in and immediately have an impact on the field. I do think that that's Akeem Messador. I do think that that's Peter Woods. I do think that that's and I think that Caden McDonald. I like Caden McDonald. I think we like
for Dennis. I feel like
it doesn't make sense for DA's defense.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. So I wouldn't expect him. But like, there are pieces to me that you can plug in day one and say this guy can do this on day one, and now we develop. I think that is more important to where the Chicago Bears are right now. And I didn't even think about this, but we had that full debate. Willie Lampkin in the building. Shout out to Willie Lampkin. Willie's still on the team, man. I hope so. He was doing great things. Willie was a draft darling. Like,
everybody loved Willie.
I wanted him. So I was like, look at him. He's my size. He's just moving people.
You cannot replace Willie Lampkin.
He said Zay Frazier was 24 when he was drafted. So Ben, Dennis, and Ryan are okay with being older. Being older generally means higher floor to the next extent. Messador better than Zion. I'm down with an older rookie window to win. Yeah, I think that you have to look at it and say what's going to help you now, but also help you in the future. I think there is this belief with a player like Akeem Messador that, like, if you were to go get Akeem Messador after his rookie contract, they just take him out back and put him down. That's not how this works. Like, most pass rushers usually have some of their best seasons post 30.
Yeah, we've seen them.
So if you get 8 to 9 years out of Akeem Messador, successful draft pick.
Robert Quinn, Von Miller, Khalil Mack. Yeah, we've seen them.
I didn't even think about Khalil Mack, but 17 and a half. That's a crazy number there. Hey, let us know how you guys feel. Bottom line, JC, do you feel like Zion Young would be best player available, or do you feel like he would be a reach at 25?
I would say more of a reach. Best player available. You got some more guys on the board. And then also, not even talking about defensive ends, you may have some safeties that are still there. We still talk about other positions outside of rusher that could be there. I believe AJ Halsey is still on the board. You got some really good talent that could still be there at 25. So I would go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, maybe even a different position at that point. I know we all want edge, and for all the people that they don't take an edge in the first round, Muzz are going to be like, oh God, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, we didn't know why we took a tight end in the first round either, and all of a sudden,
a lot of people
dominate.
Do.
Look at that boy
very
out
good.
there.
Yeah,
how you do that there? Let's keep this thing moving along, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The Chicago Bears are in the center market. Got a little bit of confirmation from that from one Sam Hecht yesterday as he was on with Kay Adams, who a very interesting show.
Yeah,
I don't ever feel like I learned anything, but I'm not gonna say I'm not entertained by it.
I feel like it's just talking. It's just conversation.
Yeah.
Just, hey, how's it going? How you doing? What's new?
It's kind of legitimately just that. So shout out to Kay Adams. She had Sam Hecht on, and she asked him, about the possibility of going to the Chicago Bears. And I think, when you look at what the Bears need here and where we're at as far as the center conversation, Sam Hecht, 6'4", 300 pounds, 22 years old. He is a senior for the Kansas State Wildcats and really put on some solid play. Guy has a lot of experience playing center and 22 years old, very different from one Logan Jones, who we were interested in going out there and getting as well. But just a young man who has been solid in his time in college. JC, when he was asked about coming to the Bears and asked about, playing in front of Caleb Williams, he just kept giving this little smile. He did reveal that the Bears had met with him. He did reveal that he had met with Coach Rashar. Two things. One, do you like the bottom line that the Bears are at least looking at the center position in this draft and probably end up drafting one? And two, is Sam Hecht a guy for you that you can take at 60 or maybe in that third round? Because I don't know if he gets to you all the way at 84. I think Sam Hecht might be an early third round pick.
No, I agree with you. And even in our mock draft, we saw a runoff of some of the top centers in that third round, where it was Jake Slaughter, Connor Lew, him. Then we talked about getting Logan Jones, and so I think in that range where you get your two picks from 57 and 60, you have to have a conversation about using one of those picks on a signal caller, a center. And even though we do have great Garrett Bradbury in the building, somebody with great experience, just went to the Super Bowl. I think that he isn't the long-term answer. And so you got to get somebody out of the draft that can be your long-term answer to kind of be under his wing in a sense. And I love a Sam Hecht, maybe even more than Logan Jones, just because of the age as well. Like if you sit him 22, that's fine, versus an older prospect at 25 where you probably want him to start right away. And so I did a little bit more of a deep dive with Sam Hecht, and I love the numbers. He's an athletic center. His 40-yard dash was really elite, 5.10 seconds. The only question mark for me is his arm length. And that's one of the things is when a interior rusher gets like a secondary move on him, there could be issues with him being pushed back. However, that doesn't happen all the time. He's very, 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 very good in pass protection, dang near elite when it comes to that. In 2 full seasons as a starter, he gave up 0 sacks and only 2 quarterback hits and over 800 pass blocking snaps. And so when it comes to protecting the quarterback, he's your guy. He's up there with some of the best. Another thing that you rarely hear about with these guys when it comes to the amount of snaps that they play, he's played over 840 snaps, and his penalty discipline is elite. He had 0 accepted flags in 2025 and only 2 across 840 snaps the year before in 24. And so you're talking about somebody who can come in and is won't make mistakes. We saw a lot of that in the beginning of the season with the offensive line, where that was something that consistently was a problem, and Ben was trying to work through that. Dan Richard was trying to work through that with our line. You got a guy who is not going to have you going backwards versus going forwards to get to the touchdown. That's something that you can rely on. And then, of course, his IQ for the game. He is someone who won't beat you with his, like I said, his overpowering physique or his strength or the athleticism to his tool per se, but he will beat you with his mind, his hand placement, his anchor. Those are the things that he does really, really well. And I believe we run the scheme that he would be well in, where it talks about inside zone concepts, gaps, where he can anchor, utilize his processing speed and hand placement. And so he would be a perfect fit here. I think that Sam Hecht would be a perfect fit here, even from day one. Maybe you get a competition in training camp between him and Garrett Bradbury. And so I like the prospect. I wouldn't have a problem with getting him.
Sam Hecht, the one thing I love about him is, and I think you kind of pointed it out there, consistent. When he was playing Iowa State, when he was playing Arizona, when he was playing Kansas, when he was playing Oklahoma State, all the way down to him playing, Colorado. Like, it didn't matter what team he was playing. He went out there and gave you consistent production. That's a floor I'm willing to live with. I think you've got 2 names really in the center conversation this year that you look at heavily. It has been Logan Jones. It has been Sam Hecht. For me, I think this is the biggest conversation of talent over potential. But I don't think that you're talking about Sam Hecht being I think Logan Jones is a better player. I do. I think that Logan Jones is probably comes into the NFL year 2, year 3, year 4. You're probably talking about an all-pro caliber center. I think that Sam Hecht has the potential to be that level of player. He gets in here, works with Dan Richard. You can see some really good things out of him. But I think he's kind of your Pro Bowl center. He is solid. He's somebody who will get a couple of nods to the Pro Bowl because people will look around and go, hey, that dude over there doesn't really give up any hits.
Yeah, you don't hear his name a lot.
Caleb Williams isn't under duress at all with Sam Hecht in front of him. And so, like, I think that, it's the difference in all pro versus very good, and it depends on where you would get them, because to me there's a real conversation where the all pro guy may be going later in this draft because of the age that is on him, coming in at 25 years old, essentially already in Logan Jones. Sam Hecht, you might have to get a little bit earlier. So if I can get Logan Jones later in this draft, address some other things, maybe trade back up into the 4th round or 3rd round, wherever, he ends up, where their model ends up projecting that he ends up falling.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with getting either of these guys, and you might get the better player later in the draft because of his age. And again, it's the NFL. You get 8-9 years out of a center, you're having a great time. If we're paying Logan Jones in 4 years because he's so good and he's 29 years old, you're having a great time.
Yeah.
He's going on the other side of 30. He's not going to forget how to block.
Yeah. You look at a guy like Joe Thuney, and which is another point I was going to bring out, is that no matter which way you go with one of these guys, and since we're really spotlighting Sam Hecht, if you get a Sam Hecht and he's right there between a one of the best all-pro guards ever in Joe Thuney, and then of course Jonah Jackson, that's another reason that gives me confidence that even the few weaknesses that he has can be covered up when you have a awesome tandem on each side of you that know how to kind of mask some of your weaknesses, mask some of the pushback from some of those bigger interior rushers, some of those bigger linebackers that might come in on blitz packages. And so for me, I think Sam Hecht, again, he will answer. He will definitely check off a lot of boxes as a long-term answer at center. And again, I think just with what Ben Johnson, I'm saying Brad Johnson, the quarterback. Ben Johnson. Brad Johnson was the quarterback for the Buccaneers back in the
you took it back on that.
I went all the way back. I'm like,
you had a flashback.
For my age, oh God,
what a name!
But Ben Johnson has talked always about competition and at every single position, and that he truly believes in having real competition in those positional groups where you're not solidified a job. Don't think and get comfortable with thinking that you're going to be the starter come day 1 or week 1 of the season. And so if you bring a Sam Hecht here in here to compete with a Garrett Bradbury, I believe that Dan and Ben and whoever needs to get eyes on him will say, okay, how does this guy look versus Garrett? Is he actually winning his reps? Is he actually picking up the playbook, which is another one of his strengths? It mentions that he has an all-American caliber intellect where he can pick up any kind of playbook in days, not weeks. Like that's actually a strength. Like, because guys sometimes have a hard time picking up playbooks. And so that also can contribute to him maybe being a day 1 starter. And so again, I love that if you bring somebody in here that could be your guy, that's going to do wonders for this line and do wonders again for our quarterback.
If nothing else, you're going to get trench talk here on the Windy City Breeze. By the way, over 100 in a check. Over 200 in a check.
All right.
200.
Appreciate y'all, man. Good morning.
No, man. If you, I think when you look at, the center position for the Bears, the intellect is the most important thing, because you need that guy to come in and help the quarterback. And you want a guy. Now, I think both of these guys possess this, but maybe Sam Hecht, you give a little bit more of an edge to. You want a guy that can come in and learn how to play with Caleb Williams real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to have time to play around with this. You're not going to have time realistically, you have a year, but the ideal scenario is you traded a 5th for Garrett Bradbury. You would love for the rookie that you draft in whatever round you draft him in shows you that he is better than Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah.
And that you can put him in his first year in the NFL. Is that likely to happen? I would say no. I think centers take some time to develop. And quiet, boy. I'm good about it. I think centers take some time. You got to just do random stuff to throw them off.
Just do the Looney Tunes.
Yeah. You got to do random stuff just to throw them off for a second. I do think centers take time to develop, but it's the same conversation we had about Isaac Trapillo last year, right? And it's the conversation we're having about guys this season coming in. We're sitting here, he's the starter, he's going to be the backup, and then maybe Trapillo slots in somewhere. Isaac Trapillo wins the job. Like it took him time into the season to lock in and figure that out. By the way, he was playing a different position. These guys are coming in playing the exact same position and just learning a new system. So negative. Yep. So when To me, when you look at making a decision at the center position, I think you take that into account as well. Who's going to be ready to start right away? Who's going to be the guy that you're most willing to put out there in his rookie year? Because I do want it to be whoever the rookie center is as the number 2 option. I would rather you not have to go with Luke Newman at that spot, especially if you're drafting somebody higher on the totem pole.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I have a little bit more confidence in going the route of a Sam Hecht or Logan Jones, because you look at the programs that they come from, and the history of
Logan Jones
come out of those programs in college and thrive at the next level. We know Notre Dame is known as tight end university. We know they have good tight ends usually. Iowa is known for their line. They won the award that Logan Jones was on, Remington Award or something like that, where the whole line was the best in college. Kansas State has had some really good players. I believe back in the day we had one that was a guard from Kansas State who had a few Pro Bowl seasons. I want to say back when you had a healthy Kyle Long in that era. I can't remember.
From Kansas State?
Yeah, he was from Kansas State. I know the chat knows. You know who exactly, because he played a little center, then he completely fell off. He had a few Pro Bowl seasons.
Cody Whitehair?
Yes, Cody Whitehair.
Cody Whitehair's Kansas State?
Yeah.
I don't think
Cody Whitehair came from Kansas State.
I just started watching college football like 4 years ago. I ain't gonna lie.
I just remember the helmet. Don't.
I just started watching college football. Right? Yeah. I used to do. It's funny. I was doing a reaction video. I used to do all of the reaction videos on YouTube and go, I don't watch these guys, so you're getting true. I've never seen this player before in my life. When I did Justin Fields, I was like, I have seen no tape on this kid. No clue who he is.
No, that's authentic reaction. I love that. But no, that's the belief. It's true. You have certain programs that really are good at developing and mentoring certain positions just really better than others. You know, you have your Alabamas, you have that are very good on defense, your Georgias, your Clemsons. Those are the programs that okay, if we pluck this guy away from them, he's probably going to work out more so than not. And so that's another belief as to why I think you go that direction with one of these big guys for the line.
I like this comment I saw earlier. Gavin said, I think we have to be wary of older rookies. They're much closer to their ceiling already and have been playing against college opposition, but they are playing against guys that are coming to the league. You know what I mean? They like Logan Jones is playing against the best of the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's playing against guys that and is holding his own. And so it's not like he's not playing against NFL talent, especially when you're going up against some of those, what the heck was that? Against some of those programs in the trenches, where, like you mentioned, right? Like they're known for the trenches. So like, I'm not as concerned by either of those names. I do agree with you, right? They're closer to their ceiling. But your ceiling, if your ceiling can hold off NFL talent, that's not a bad ceiling for you to have, because you're going to be playing against a heck of a lot of NFL talent. Does that mean that you're going to be the best in the? No, it doesn't mean that you're drafting a top 5 center in here. Would love for that to be the case. I think it's more the case with Logan Jones, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the case. The question is, can you go out there and find somebody who can do their job, play in and play out? That's what Sam Hecht is. That's what Logan Jones is. And the fact that the Bears are sniffing around Sam Hecht, I would assume probably means that they want more of the youth at that position than they do the proven talent. They see what Logan Jones can do and say he's 22. We can what Sam Hecht can do and say he's 22. We can develop him out, versus a Logan Jones where it's like he said, he is who he is. And more than likely that's what he would be coming into the league. Like really good, but he's older. You're taking that chance that if you miss, you missed big.
Yeah, you missed big. Yeah. No, I you know what's so funny is I love the times that we're in now with this Chicago Bears team, because it's crazy that we're talking about possibly getting prospects that are older at all these different positions versus back in the day when we were drafting constantly in the top 5, top 10, going number 1. You definitely were trying to get the youngest guy, the youngest prospect, because if you were a team that was rebuilding and you didn't have any monumental foundational pieces on your team, you're going for the youngest prospect with the highest ceiling, the guy that, oh my goodness, all these traits, he could be an impact player at edge, or he could be the best quarterback in a generational and things of that nature. But the fact that we're in a space where we're talking about 25-year-olds and 24-year-olds and older prospects and seniors coming to the Bears, that tells you that the Bears are going in the right direction. That tells you that the Bears are actually a competing team, a team that is right there at the cusp of being one of the better teams in the league to compete year after year, instead of having to worry about rebuilding and retooling and going for the youngest. So that in itself is an exciting part of why this draft is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Listen, I've been begging for a big man draft for a while here. We finally get one, and I think that we got one of the best. We're in the best situation to go out there and be to fix a lot of the holes that the Bears currently have with how this draft falls here. So let us know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on Sam Hecht, on Logan Jones. Somebody asked, what about Olin's son? I wouldn't mind Olin's son, but it'll be later in the draft for me. I mean, honestly, 5th, 6th round. I see the traits of a good player, but I watched a lot of Illinois football and he got beat. The bottom line, he got beat on the field. I think he has the strength. I think that he's probably a workout warrior because of the father that he has. I think that he will get stronger. I think that he has one of the best teachers in the world for that position as his dad. So there's a lot to be said about going out and getting Olin Kreutz's son, but I think that he's got a long way to go.
Would you draft him late in the 6th, 5th round if we already got like one of these guys we just talked about?
Yes, I would. Because I think center is one of those positions where, listen, I feel confident in a dang son just sneezed all on the side of my neck. I feel confident in a Logan Jones. I would feel confident in a Sam Hecht. But the bottom line is sometimes guys show great in college and it doesn't translate to the NFL. Especially at the center position. He's trying to keep himself awake. Stop doing it.
This man gargling that.
The guggler. But legitimately, I look at what young Kreutz can do, and I see a player that has all of the talent, but it's not put together at all. You just gotta find a way to get him to connect those pieces. If you do, I think he's a good center. And when he did, he truly was a good center. Pterodactyl Pop said it's the Predator in baby form. Baby sound like he underwater. The baby is not underwater if you're simply just watching on the on the podcast side. He just wants to make as much noise as possible while Daddy does the show. Don't you move my hand.
Get that out of here.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Make sure that you guys stay tapped in with everything we're doing. Make sure y'all follow JC on Twitter. JC be doing a lot of tweeting on Twitter.
A lot of tweeting.
And I see none of y'all be following him. Y'all tap in with JC on Twitter. You follow me. What is it? Clemens_Jordan. Probably need to change your username to Jordan JC.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I need to get with you on that. Because
probably need to change the username to Jordan JC.
Twitter indeficient.
Yeah, a little more so they can understand the show. But right now it's at Clemens_Jordan. Make sure to tap in with him on there. Tap in with boy, mama ain't here. Get out of here. She left you with me. But follow me on Twitter at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Boy.
You just had to do the little gargle thing for the people out there, didn't you?
That's right.
Oh boy. Do you have Facebook? No. I mean, I do, but I don't go on there. Apparently,
I rarely go on my Facebook. It's like a corpse on there.
I think the Windy City Breeze has a Facebook page, though.
Oh.
And apparently my Facebook is actually cracking because I guess my Instagram reels go over there.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so like the reels on Facebook, I guess, do great numbers. I had like all these friend requests. I was like, I don't know none of these people.